Okay, so we did factoring monomials and we did GCF. So now what we're going to do is factoring trinomials. So this is where it gets a little bit more tricky, but we're going to start off with some of the easier ones. And again, we're just working our way up, So first, we're going to start off with easier one, is what I'm calling it. It's where a is equal to 1. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. So let's say we had x. Actually, I'm not going to use x for the same reason. I don't want you to confuse it with the multiplication sign. Okay, so we have y squared. Okay, and then we have y squared. Let's go plus 5x plus 6. This is my favorite factoring problem. Okay, 5y plus 6, sorry. So we've got this problem, y squared plus 5y plus 6. It's a trinomial. It's got 3 parts. It may be more, it is a trinomial, and it's just as accurate to call it a quadratic because it has the highest power is a 2. And maybe I should call it quadratic because you can use this with other quadratics that are not necessarily trinomials. Okay, so factoring quadratics here. So first thing I want to do is I draw this big, what I call an x factor. It's just a big X, and with this beautiful drawing, I'm going to take the leading coefficient here, whatever's in front of the y squared, which there's nothing here, so we know that's a 1. So this is a 1. This is called a, the letter in front of y squared, the coefficient of y squared. The coefficient of y here is b, is always called b, and the constant is called c. Okay, so this is sometimes called the AC method because you multiply a times c. And this is how we're going to do it. So again, this is a 1, a is 1, and c is 6. So 1 times 6 is 6. So after I multiply those numbers, I put it here on top of the x. And then I take b, this number here, and put it on the bottom of the x. And what I'm doing with this x is I'm just thinking of numbers that multiply to this and add to this. So let's think about all the numbers that multiply to 6. There's 1 and 6. 1 times 6 is 6. And there's 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. But what we want to see is that they add to 5. So is 1 plus 6 5? No, 1 plus 6 is 7. Is 2 plus 3 5? Yes, 2 plus 3 is 5. So these two are the ones we're looking for. Not this one because we wanted 5. So it's not this. We want these. So we wanted 2 and 3. So I'm going to come down here and put 2 here and 3 here. Okay? And then after that, since a equals 1, we're done. We're just going to come here, put our answer, which is y. You start with a parentheses, and you put y plus the first thing you found, 2. And here, order doesn't matter. Y plus the second number, 3. And you could have put y plus 3, y plus 2. It would be just as correct. Okay? So that is the answer for your first trinomial. First quadratic factoring. Okay? Now, whenever you factor, no matter what type of factoring it is, you need to look to see if there's a GCF, like we did in the last video. We were doing GCFs. In this one, there's no GCF, so it's no problem. But every time you factor, you need to look to make sure that there isn't a GCF.